The sound of raindrops against his car window felt almost therapeutic, masking the chaos of his life. Mark Davis, a single dad in his mid-30s, sat parked outside the restaurant, staring blankly at his reflection in the glass. His hair was slightly messy from the day's rush, his shirt freshly ironed, but his eyes tired from balancing work, fatherhood, and loneliness that he pretended didn't hurt. He wasn't supposed to be here tonight. He had promised his little daughter Lily they'd watch a movie together. But when his best friend Ryan begged him to go on a blind date, just this once, Mark reluctantly agreed. He told himself it was only to shut Ryan up, nothing more. After all, he wasn't ready to date again. Not after what he'd lost. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that heal the heart, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps us keep bringing you more touching stories like this one. As Mark stepped into the softly lit restaurant, the warmth hit him immediately, a sharp contrast to the cold drizzle outside. He scanned the room, feeling slightly out of place among couples laughing over wine glasses. His palms were sweaty, his heart uneasy. He was used to fixing broken toys and reading bedtime stories, not sitting across from a stranger trying to make small talk. The hostess smiled politely and led him to a table near the window. He exhaled deeply and sat down, fiddling with the edge of his napkin. A few minutes later, she walked in, and his entire world seemed to slow down. The woman was radiant, confident, and carried an aura that drew every pair of eyes in the room. Her golden hair fell effortlessly over her shoulders, her smile soft yet commanding. When she reached his table, her perfume lingered faintly, a mix of jasmine and something deeper, like mystery itself. "Mark?" she asked, her voice smooth but slightly surprised. He nodded, standing up awkwardly to greet her. From the moment she sat down, Mark could tell she wasn't what he expected. She was composed, graceful, the kind of woman who seemed to belong to another world. Her name was Emily Carter. What he didn't know, not yet, was that Emily was the CEO of one of the largest marketing firms in the city. But tonight, she didn't look like a CEO. She looked like someone trying to find something real. As they spoke, the awkwardness slowly melted. Emily's laughter was genuine, her questions thoughtful. She wasn't interested in pretending, she wanted to know him. When Mark shyly admitted he was a single dad who worked long hours at a local auto shop to make ends meet, he expected that familiar look, the one people gave when they realized he wasn't ambitious enough. But Emily didn't flinch. Instead, she leaned in, intrigued. "You must be doing something right," she said softly, "because that kind of responsibility takes strength." Her words disarmed him. For years, Mark had worn his struggle like armor, hiding behind self-doubt and exhaustion. But here was a woman who saw through it. And for the first time in a long time, he allowed himself to smile. Not the polite kind he used at work, but a real, unguarded smile. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, from favorite books to childhood dreams. Emily confessed she hadn't been on a real date in years. Her life revolved around boardrooms and deadlines. She admired Mark's simplicity, the way he spoke about his daughter with pride and tenderness. He wasn't trying to impress her. He was just real. By the time dinner ended, neither wanted to leave. They walked out together into the cool night air. The rain had stopped, leaving the streets glistening under the city lights. Emily offered him a ride home, but Mark declined politely. He didn't want her to see the tiny apartment he shared with Lily. It was clean but modest, far from the lifestyle someone like Emily probably lived. They said goodbye with a quiet promise to talk again soon, though neither admitted how much they already wanted to. Days turned into weeks. Their messages became daily, then nightly calls that stretched past midnight. Mark found himself looking forward to them. Her voice, her laugh, her way of making him feel seen. Emily, too, felt something unfamiliar, a warmth that success had never given her. She found herself canceling business dinners just to grab coffee with him. But love rarely blooms without resistance. One afternoon, Mark got an unexpected visitor at his auto shop, a man in a sharp suit. "You're Mark Davis?" the man asked coldly. "Emily Carter's assistant. She's the CEO of Carter and Blake Industries." The words hit him like a punch. "CEO?" Mark stood frozen, wiping the grease from his hands, heart pounding. That night, he couldn't sleep. He thought about every laugh they shared, every story he told her about struggling to pay rent, every time she listened without judgment. And now, It all felt different, like maybe she had pitied him. The next morning, he texted her, saying he needed space. Emily was hurt. She tried calling, but Mark didn't answer. Finally, she showed up at his shop. She stood there, still elegant but visibly shaken. "Why are you pushing me away?" she asked. Mark avoided her eyes. "You're a CEO, Emily. You live in a world I'll never fit into. I fix cars and worry about grocery bills. You close million-dollar deals. We're not the same." Tears welled up in her eyes, but her voice stayed firm. "You think I care about that? You're the only person who's ever treated me like I'm more than a title. You make me feel human, Mark." But he couldn't believe it. The scars from his past, the betrayal of his ex, the fear of being not enough, were too deep. Emily left that day, heartbroken but silently determined. Weeks passed. Life returned to its dull rhythm. Mark focused on Lily, though his heart ached in quiet moments. Then, one Friday evening, Lily came running into the shop, waving a flyer. "Daddy, look, Miss Emily's company is helping build homes for single parents." His chest tightened. Emily hadn't forgotten. She had started a community initiative, inspired by their conversations. Her company was funding housing for struggling single parents, giving them a fresh start. He realized she hadn't moved on. She had turned their pain into purpose. The next day, he went to the site where volunteers were working. And there she was, Emily, in jeans and a ponytail, lifting boxes with the others. When she saw him, her eyes widened, tears instantly forming. Mark walked up to her, hands trembling. "You were right," he said quietly. "You didn't care about who I was. You cared about what I am." Emily smiled through her tears. "You're everything I wanted but didn't know I needed." He took her hand, and for the first time, there was no fear, just peace. Around them, laughter and kindness filled the air as volunteers worked side by side. Two worlds that were never meant to meet had found a way to fit perfectly together. Months later, they stood in that same restaurant by the window, the one where it all began. Lily sat between them, giggling as Mark tried to cut her dessert. Emily looked at them with quiet joy. She had learned that love isn't about matching status or wealth. It's about matching souls. And Mark, once convinced he was too broken to love again, realized that sometimes fate brings you exactly who you need when you least expect it. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it. Help spread the message that love and kindness can bridge any gap, no matter how wide. Speech balloon special request. Tell us in the comments. Do you believe true love can happen by accident, or is it always fate's plan? Because for one single dad and one powerful CEO, that unexpected blind date wasn't a coincidence. It was destiny in disguise, and it changed both of their lives forever.